We're here at the Marcliffe for the E-FWD breakfast event, and I'm here with Anne Johnson from Blaze Manufacturing. Now, Anne is a legend. She is such an inspiring leader for the industry, for women in industry, and just kind of like anyone really. So how are you today, Anne?
Bless your heart. Erikka, it's really early.
I live in Edsel.
I live in Edsel. But I'll get up early for you.
Thank you so much.
I'm
it's very
good
kind
today.
of you. Very kind of you. Well, you've come out obviously, for a bit of swish at the Marcliffe E-FWD event. What are you hoping to have happen here this morning?
So this is my first E-FWD event.
Oh, great.
I've not been to one before.
Welcome.
I'd heard about tents, but I didn't actually think there was going to be tents, so I'm a bit shocked. Just before you come in the room, you're always a little bit nervous. And I walked straight into the arms of Cara, who was so welcoming.
Yeah.
And then I saw you here, and I thought, this is all good. This is going to be a good day. I'm looking for information. I'm looking to meet new people.
Sure.
And meet old friends as well.
Very good. Okay. Now, you are kind of the sort of person who is across everything in the industry just because of your leadership role. So you tell us what's going on. How are you seeing things going right now?
So I just had a meeting yesterday with EIC actually, and they were telling us about the Brazilian market. So the Brazilian market's moving away from wind. Who knew? That's because they had a massive outage last year and the government has no confidence. So you're seeing outages in different countries across the world, and we're racing ahead towards renewables, which is the right thing to do. But are we going to have outages? I'm just a member of the public like anybody else. My job at Blaze is to find out where the projects are. We work heavily in renewables abroad. So although we're looking here in the UK at what's happening, we also keep an eye on geopolitical situations, and that's one of them just now.
Wow, okay. Now, you're working in renewables, but you're still working in oil and gas. You know what, because your safety solutions are just absolutely necessary. Are you seeing that same pull into renewables for that? Is that urgency for safety still a big case?
Because we're nuclear as well as wind, yeah, absolutely. They take it really seriously. Oil and gas is a really interesting market for us. It's where we're happiest and where we feel safest because most of the systems were designed by people that we employ originally in the 80s, 90s, 2000s. So they're easy fixes for us. Our concern has been the backlog, the maintenance backlog, and that's because there's been other priorities offshore. Because the HSE are now having a focus on the deluge systems, which is our sweet spot for offshore, we're finding that we get calls and being asked to be offshore within 4 hours. Normally it's planned weeks and weeks in advance, but it's now really urgent work, and we're happy to help, and we have the people that have the experience. So they've generally tried somebody else first, maybe a more generic company, found it's not worked, so we'll jump in at the end and make sure it does work.
So basically, one of the good things maybe is because it's safety critical, they realize that they need the specialists, the adults in the room when it comes to making sure that you don't have any fires offshore. Yeah.
And also, it's about a safe transition. And one of the worries I've had and voiced to the net zero people from the government 2 weeks ago in Manchester was the word safe seems to have been dropped in a lot of conversations, and it's more a sustainable transition. It's got to be a safe, sustainable transition. Our friends work offshore, our neighbours work offshore, my family works offshore. So we want to make sure it is safe, genuinely.
Yeah, great. So what is going to be next for Blaze? You guys have been absolute stalwarts of the industry. You're a great family unit. You and Howard founded the business kind of back in the days. You're now working as part of the Balmoral Group, and that's been a big change over for Blaze, hasn't it?
One of the worries that the staff had when we became part of the Balmoral Group was our culture would change. But we were very careful to align with somebody who had the same values. Sir Jim Milne, he has a family business. They have the same morals, they have the same view of life, and they have the same community around them. So it actually wasn't that big a change. What it allows us is to springboard into these slightly unknown sectors, and that's why we've been so successful in renewables, because they're multi-million-pound projects. And there's warranty bonds in there, there's parent company guarantees, there's all sorts of things you have to provide to the client for them to give you so much work. So it's a great relationship, and they own the Marcliffe, which was so exciting. And the plans for the Marcliffe are unbelievable.
Well, I'm really excited about that too. Is this your staff canteen now?
Yes, absolutely. I'll be here all the time. Here every day.
Amazing. Now, there's 2 sessions here today. There's one on the grid and resilience, and there's one on the North Sea. Which one are you going to?
The grid. So the reason for the reason for the grid is we are looking at battery storage plants. So we've done a lot of research into that, and we want the Scottish Government to be braver. We want them to think about nuclear more, because I know that's been a no-no in the past. But the grid is a great one for us, because that's where a lot of our work is abroad, on the grid. So as for oil and gas, the windfall tax, it's not my fight. I can't fight that. I've at every opportunity I talk about that at the CBI, about it affects investment in the North Sea, and that in turn affects the supply chain.
Sure. And as the supply chain, kind of going forward, are you just talking about going into other industries? Is there any hope for the North Sea?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. So it gave me heart that Brazil are going back and really looking after their offshore oil and gas sector. Other companies are doing it as well. We work abroad a lot. For the UK, we should invest. I think Sir Keir Starmer's softening. Can I say that? Yeah. We've got an election next year. That's going to be, we'll be lobbying hard. We don't just do business. We lobby really hard with CBI through Women Enterprise Scotland, direct to Holyrood, about looking after the supply chain, making sure there's work for us, but also making sure the North Sea is safe. Yeah,
indeed, right. Now, Anne, you work tirelessly. You're at EIC. You're with IoT? No, the CBI, the Women in Business, and yet you're here with us, sharing your insight and your knowledge. And I just want to say thank you. And it's always lovely to see you.
On my day off, it's
she
like
never
a day
stops
off.
working. But we need people like you to keep on doing what you do. Thank you ever so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.